check. We have audio turned on, open mics turned on. All right, well, everything seems to be going through, so we'll just pray that it's actually working. Yeah, we had a second stream, had a couple of bumps and bruises. But Faceless versus OG Dota. Anna asked me before, we were sitting downstairs having some lunch, and once he realized I was sitting next to him, he asked me, who's your favorite going into the game? I don't know what your reaction, what your answer
This
would be.
series or the series on the other stream?
No, we're talking about this one.
Okay.
We're not talking about EGNP, but if you want to go check that one out, you can. It's PGL_Dota. Obviously, this is the place to be, PGL_Dota 2. But I did answer back that definitely OG were a clear favorite for me. But if I was to pick anyone in the group of Group A that could potentially take a game off OG, Faceless as well as Empire were actually up on my list for that one. Just because I don't know if OG really have enough knowledge of what Faceless will do against them. And the randomness that also can potentially come out of Team Empire.
No one runs that weird of stuff anymore. I think we've been seeing a lot of Lena in the Chinese scene, but Lena herself is not that strange. People aren't terribly unfamiliar with it, so I don't know. I think just because you're unfamiliar with the team doesn't mean necessarily that it's not like, oh my gosh, they were caught off guard by this strategy.
I just think it's one of those teams that could do it. Like, we still have to have flashbacks to Dota Pit, right? Like Faceless, who ran the lower bracket, OG were the one to knock them out and give them a third position in that tournament.
They were just playing extremely well. They were using Magnus before Magnus was cool and hip.
They were the trendsetters. The madness of Ice that just pushes through. Even though he's not the drafter, obviously he's a big influence.
Back to Ogre.
Are we regressing? Is that what's happening now, where we actually we completely regressed in the meta?
Nah, Ogre was mega popular during qualifiers. He's kind of just that. I don't know. I don't know why he's favored over Rubik a little bit more. I guess just because of scaling and securing your lanes a little bit more. But yeah.
I'm assuming you have Twitch chat sitting over on your side, do you? Is that what you?
I do not. But I assume that everything is going okay.
I'm hoping so. I'm hearing a little bit of game sounds in the background. So we did a complete restart for those who wonder why the stream went down, just to make sure some tech issues were resolved with the power spike which was happening in the board. But yeah, this is actually, I believe, the second time OG have played Visage.
Yep, they like that hero. The hero. The thing is, the gargoyles were very, very easy to kill before, and Ice Frog keeps tweaking it. But we haven't seen too much play from it. But eventually, it's going to get to the territory where that hero is beyond playable and first phase material, apparently.
I remember the first thing when the buff came up at 7.00, it was like, oh, we're going to see Visage mid just because he was so powerful with everyone together, with the way Gravekeeper's Cloak came out. But I also heard there was a bug with Gravekeeper's Cloak where it didn't actually negate as much damage as it was meant to. So just a small little thing that I don't know if it actually got reworked before DAC began, but it did flag up on Reddit about a week ago, I think. And hello, Brewmaster. So an S4 special.
With Ogre, you're generally drafting right-clickers because of Bloodlust, not something like Ember doesn't really synergize with the Bloodlust that well. So I think that's where the Broodmaster with his Mass Miss and Blind is very, very useful. Also, like even the Dispel, I think, is pretty useful versus Ogre because he's a Bloodlust machine later, and that's kind of how everyone plays him.
Yep. But in this game, not to be the case. And Timbersaw, interesting how Brewmaster actually uses this Tornado. Like, if he tries to control and keep Ice the Timbersaw out of the fight. Or if he looks for a different target.
You got to worry a little bit earlier about the laning phase and such, you know?
Brewmaster should be fine. He's a big man.
Not versus Timber.
No.
Not.
But then you're still looking at the Brewmaster to go to the offlane of OG. So unless Faceless want to try some kind of shenanigans and push Timber into the safe lane, so they end up getting this one-on-one. But you know OG's going to play the rotation game if you do that. Like, OG's not going to just accept Faceless trying to lane dodge him.
We'll see. We shall see. Oh, man, poor Visage Birds. Timbersaw is actually one of the better heroes versus Visage Birds because they have a lot of magic resistance with the Gravekeeper's Cloak, but no pure damage resistance.
Did the Chakrams actually kill him off really quick, like
Yes.
decently quickly?
Yes. I have heard from Visage players that Timbersaw is one of your worst nightmares.
That's a bit of a problem, and surprising that OG would then first phase pick up Visage, knowing the Faceless love running their Timbersaw for Ice.
Mm-hmm.
So odd to say the least. And also say Faceless is now taking care of the initiation of OG. So ban out the Pudge. The Earth Spirit's already been removed, so they've pretty heavily focused onto Jirax with just the 2 out of the 3 bans.
He's the playmaker.
He really is. Like it's one of those. I think it was one of the best pickups that OG could have really gotten, having Jirax in their lineup. Like his rotation seems to make almost any hero work.
He's like Crit, but Crit's more of a captain position now.
No,
not so much of a playmaker anymore. Sadly, I enjoyed watching Crit and Jirax duke it out, especially when they both had a huge overlap in heroes, Earth Spirit and Elder Titan.
Yep. Is that something you can go to here, or who actually plays the Visage for them? Who played it earlier today?
Fly?
It was Fly?
I believe. Yep.
I remember when he first started playing the Visage, there were rumors going around the community saying that Fly wasn't actually microing his familiars, and that it was actually No-Tail who was doing it. And none of them actually came out and dispelled the rumors for a couple of months.
You could easily tell from player perspective.
You could, but no one was looking at that. Like, we're not all like Malini police and investigate this information.
I don't really think the claim matters so much. It's very clear that No-Tail can micro. Any Meepo player can easily micro 2 familiars.
Yeah.
So it's definitely not out of the question. I'm pretty sure he did at some point for his older team, but I'm not exactly sure.
Back when he was playing with like Fnatic or somebody.
Yeah, I definitely remember him doing it during then. It was very clear too, like it would move with his hero, so you didn't even need to go to replay perspective to see.
And then you'll be like, oh wait, it was Fly all along, and it was just moving perfectly in time. All right, so OD ban out. Not OG, you can't ban the entire team. Taken out. And no Tinker and no Alchemist. No easy way for Faceless to stall up the game and either win with money or win with split push / farm. And they then get a Disruptor. So control against the Timber, and probably the best answer they could get to Ice out of their second support.
But it also limits their laning options a lot. Disruptor is not very good versus Timbersaw in a 3-on-1 or 2-on-1 situation. And you also can't aggro with Disruptor. So your lanes are pretty much set once they see
So if Faceless does want to put the Timber up on top lane, they could get away with it.
Easily, I would say.
Can you dual lane with anything? Like, can Visage play any other role than just running that 4-5 position?
I have heard people talk about experimental 1 position Visage because you get a lot of gold. And you can do a lot of damage with like Atos, Solar Crest if you get it especially up very, very early and then later on like AC perhaps. But I haven't actually seen it work out that well.
I wonder if Fly feels pressured enough that he would think about doing something like that.
Seems risky.
Yeah, it does. But right now the laning phase doesn't look that terrific. If Faceless does want to try and switch things up. Like, they pick up a Crystal Maiden with the Ogre, they may just feel more than comfortable enough just to... Okay. Feel comfortable enough just to run standard lanes. And still feel like you'll come out on top of it. Storm Spirit up from OGs. Now they've got that jump-in controller and natural Orchid Builder for OG.
Their lanes are not terribly strong. Brewmaster, I think, is pretty good mid, but other lanes he seems very, very weak. Disruptor's very weak. Also, Storm Spirit is. So I think Faceless, I mean, they had the Ogre for the early game. They have the Crystal Maiden for the early game mana too. First 10 minutes, that's where I am concerned for OG.
Maybe they just run something else, like you throw in that Drow Ranger as your last one. So at least give Storm a little bit of extra damage buff in the mid to battle it out there. You run the Brewmaster plus a Visage on that top and run like a dual off lane where the two of them together. So at least then you have that harassment into more power. And that's something they're missing, OG, is like that tower pusher outside of just having Visage familiars. Which, of course, could just do wonders with split push. But for the moment, it seems a little odd. Like, I wonder what the point is of Fly's draft. But Fly wouldn't have gone into this draft just thinking, Like, we'll just pick up a couple of things that we like, and it'll all work together, right?
They've actually don't have the best heroes with Ogre. They've actually changed because of the Brewmaster. They went for Timber and Ember Spirit, heroes that don't rely on right-click at all. Who cares if these heroes are Drunken Hazed? So that's actually quite interesting. Nothing that I would actually expect coming out from them.
Terrorblade being banned out, so again, they don't have any clearance for illusion-based heroes as well. And we're missing Black's hero, actually, it's the last one. Because Timber and Ember, like the Ember's going to go to mid, Timber to the off lane or whichever lane.
Could be AM. AM's very popular versus Storm Spirit. But
would you get some other lockdown, some more direct lockdown against it?
Not if you're... They have the root from Ember Spirit. It's already pretty good, I would say. So it's not the worst thing in the world for them.
Well, the Drow Ranger I was talking about gets denied up, so Nuts won't let that through. It would have been the solution to the laning/push phase. Now OG have to look for something else. And maybe they're just playing us the entire time, but how do you even do that? Like, you can't just run a Brewmaster safe lane, like they can't dodge that way, because then Timber's going to just crap all over him.
Yeah, I'm worried about that Timber getting out of control if I'm OG. Faceless, what is the carry versus Storm Spirit? There's no good, like, safe lane Atos carriers. I said maybe an Necrophos, but that does not sound like a black hero at all.
No. Like, Slark is the black hero. That's what you look... The Slark and the anti-mage.
He's versus Disruptor and Storm. I don't particularly like Slark here. I would way prefer anti-mage, I would say.
Could you
Juggernaut's still in the pool. You can always pick Juggernaut, I think.
Can you get away with things like Lone Druid? Like, I know he got nerfed up a little bit, but it's digging deeper into the history of Black
I haven't seen that hero at all in 7.04.
Yeah.
Not in my pubs, not in any...
Where did he go?
Well, Rabid isn't 100% uptime anymore, so you actually have to think about casting Rabid.
Oh. Well, there's the anti-mage.
Yeah.
And a Bloodseeker is the last one.
They knew they were taking the anti-mage. Bloodseeker owns AM badly.
Hey, remember though, Black is still a master of the step to blink. He's still a master of that.
But Bloodseeker.
Yeah. It'll be a pain, but at least anti-mage will be capable of blinking.
How do you blink?
Wait, isn't that the one you do it with, where you do like the blink and then you hit the maximum range?
No.
With the
you
blink?
Can't.
Who was that you could do it with? It was Quap, that's right.
Anti-mage is 1150, Bloodseeker's 1200 on his Rupture.
That's it.
So you are just boned for anti-mage. You'll see Lincoln's very commonly picked up as AM. He might, he probably has to get... I don't actually know how you deal with the Bloodseeker. Often you just get destroyed. And they even have like Storm Spirit. He can pull him a little bit during the Rupture. We'll see. But let's see if they can stop this early game coming out from OG, because I think their early game is super weak. Despite AM being on Faceless' team, I still think they have a way better early game.
Well, if they can keep him down, maybe it'll be possible. Maybe Faceless will be that team that at least removes one of the games from OG. But OG are already sitting at the top of the board. They got their 2-0 victory earlier today, so they have their 3 points in the group so far. And this is Faceless' first game in the group stage.
Bloodseeker also does very well versus Timber in lane. I think you can actually just leave that a straight one-on-one. Even with Crystal Maiden Aura, I still think Bloodseeker wins that. Cool. Someone said that every single hero would be picked during DAC.
Really?
So,
well, we got pretty close.
Yeah, I don't,
during the qualifiers.
Think that's
we already took the Shaman box. Like, Shaman got picked once already today.
Yeah, Bloodseeker box
failed,
is right here.
But it got picked.
So let's see. Black will be taking up safe lane. Ice on the off lane. That's pretty standard.
Okay, I've got to murder whoever put this freaking thing together.
You can click.
I can, but I don't want to. What the hell did they do to this?
So yeah, pretty interesting matchups in this particular game, I would say.
All right. We will get that fixed for the next game where someone has just destroyed the hotkeys on this keyboard. All right. So let's run through our lanes and how we're going to go. So we were wondering if it was going to happen. It looks like it is. Ice is headed up towards the top lane, and they're going to push the anti-mage into the off lane, putting jabs onto that mid lane role for him. And as far as OG goes, they've already got No-Tail down the bottom lane. They've pushed S4 to the top lane, so Faceless get the matchup they were searching for. They're going to have the Brewmaster versus the Timbersaw.
Yep, they can shut down the Bloodseeker a lot. Visage is not going to be able to pull, especially with the Sentry Ward blocking that camp. Jerax is going to be in the mid lane. He started off with boots, a little bit of greed from him, especially with the Smoke of Deceit coming out, and it is up to him. He needs to force these two supports, the Crystal Maiden and the Ogre, to leave that bottom lane so that Bloodseeker can actually do something. But it's pretty tough because Ember Spirit is pretty resistant in the mid lane. Like, Storm is not the strongest laner in mid, and then top is just kind of just you just accept that as a loss. Timber versus Brew.
I don't really want to do this. Like, okay, Sentry Ward down from Fly, so at least he'll get rid of the Sentry Ward that's there from Faceless. So we'll open up the camp for pulling.
They have to have that camp.
Yeah.
Pulled.
But they got some good vision, like the Observer Ward next to the Tier 1 tower, so they can see where XY and Ice is going to move. But it's going to be almost impossible for them to actually contest the pulse. So it's up to Black to get into the face of No-Tail and drag those supports back into the lane.
XY got the block off on the camp. So 2 minutes until that camp is over. Jerax getting heat.
Wow, that's a lot of damage. That's
dead?
actually enough damage to get the kill. XY on 23 HP. Fly misses uphill. He can't even get that one. They blood raged him up. They were looking for more damage. And XY is on the run with the Tango giving the regeneration. There is nowhere near enough damage from Fly to finish the job. Faceless will spill first blood on this aggro tri-lane.
They are completely taking advantage of the Disruptor's early game, as you definitely should if you're Faceless. You're very comfortable with the matchups that you've been given, and all 3 lanes, I would say, are favorable to Faceless. Maybe not so much the mid lane, but everything else is okay for them. Fly is getting harassed non-stop. They cannot pull that small camp. Jerax started off with boots first and has given up first blood. Not the best.
And this aggressive style of anti-mage, it gives me kind of flashbacks to almost the way Scorner used to play it with the way they ran Crystal Maiden anti-mage as the dual lane mid. You Frostbite, hold him in position, so it gave anti-mage like 2 times to attack with his mana break. And you basically just won the lane thanks to just the mana deprivation. Obviously, it's a different story when you're up against a Bloodseeker.
Timber actually going for the Orb of Venom in the lane.
It's unusual, but seems to be very appropriate up against like a melee lineup.
Yeah, I don't know what else you'd spend your early gold on. Can't get Poor Man's Shield anymore. Blightstone you also can't buy it. Not that he would actually buy it, but I guess it slows down your arcanes a decent amount, though, expending that.
Oh, they're going again on Fly. The Blood Ride is down, so No-Tail's trying to create a little bit of space. So with the silence, Black is not a healthy man. The creep's coming up from the side is going to help him out, and Black, one more hit will bring him down. Meanwhile, you do actually lose the Storm Spirit. He actually died in the middle lane. The wall is up, so XY's control for the moment. No-Tail enjoying the extra buffs thanks to the Thirst.
Yeah, they need a Shrine, I think, just so they can get their HP up. But Black, he really wanted that kill and stood in the Blood Right. It looked like he was really close to dodging it, but he did want to get that last right click onto that old Visage.
Anna's going to have a very hard time here. Like, Jabs is getting up in his face. He knows he's got the bottle charges. Searing Chain's actually missing on Anna, which I don't think was really part of the plan. Bloodseeker's down, and a quick blink from Black will dodge the Soul Assumption that hit from Fly, or tried to hit from Fly. So you get Ember Spirit who gets a solo kill on the Storm Spirit. The aggro tri-lane from Faceless is working perfectly, and you've still got the favorable matchup with the Timbersaw. OG need to change the beat.
I don't know how, though. What are you going to do? Put Brewmaster down here? Brewmaster's going to get destroyed.
Yeah.
Rotate your heroes mid, then Bloodseeker just gets pummeled. But if you ditch this lane, you're going to lose the tower, too. So I think they just have to weather the storm. You're going to die in the early game, especially after giving the start, but you just have to accept it.
Can you push No-Tail jungle, then? Like, give him Iron Talon? It's...
You can, but then AM gets free farm, and you'll lose your tower soon. And your supports in there are just going to die. Ogre is more than happy to dive towers, so...
But that just has to be up to like Visage to hold. Like give Visage the levels. Like I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel here, definitely.
You just accept that you lost the early game. It might go a little bit worse for them, but I think that's okay. You keep the lanes as
Blood
is.
Rights down again. With the extra silence over on the Ogre, Soul Assumption does a heavy amount of damage from Fly. So they get to pick up on the Ogre. And this is the same time as Ice rotated off the lane because he came in towards the mid. So lends the Frostbite. Storm Spirit still not level 6, so he cannot jump away. And, well, it will be Nuts who takes the kill. I also calling him Ice because he's sponsored by Ice by the looks of it. It's Nuts on the Crystal Maiden who rotates towards the mid.
Oh yeah, they have 2 routes for Storm Spirit. Yeah, they don't have to worry too much about him. You mentioned that they might need some disable, but not really. Root's good enough.
Still waiting for Ice hit level 6 and then start to threaten the Brewmaster.
Yeah, it's a nice life for Ice. CMR, Mango. He's gonna have
Anna.
hero. Yeah, this is.
Jabs actually played that perfectly as well. Like, he knew the Storm Spirit's still not level 6, committed his early spirits that he was able to claim. So the Storm will go down again. That's a 0 for 3 Storm Spirit. But as you said, like, what's going to happen here from OG? They can't bring help in. Like, Jirax will rotate, but it's the Disruptor. The Disruptor rotation is, well, shite, to say the least.
Yeah, he needs level 6. They just need some more levels.
And Fly is now in trouble as well. Black trying to pump out as much damage as possible. Bloodlight's causing them some problems. Black isn't level 6 just yet, but it won't really matter. His physical damage is enough to kill off Fly.
Fly's just incredibly slow. 285 move speed. Ugh. Yuck. They have...
The wings are not aerodynamic in the early levels.
Crystal Maiden's pretty slow too, but at least she has boots right now. But now they're able to utilize that pool. No-Tail is getting his levels, though. He is going to go for a Hand of Midas, so they're going to catch up at the mid-game, or so they plan. But you are versus an Anti-Mage. And Anti-Mage...
Oh, hello, top lane. Ice. Like, you were waiting for him to add enough pressure that he'd force S4 to go into the split, and it happened. But with 3 points up in reactive armor, Ice just shrugs off almost all of the damage. So all S4 can do is just spin him, harass him up a little bit, and then just bail. Which is exactly what's happened now.
Yeah, that would have been a nice kill for them if they had the Brewmaster go into the safe lane, but now they don't even have that anymore. Storm Spirit is level 6, and he can TP in, but bottom lane is nowhere close to being a kill, and top lane's nowhere close to being a kill, so he's just going to TP mid and get some more farm, get that CS. Storm's still very high in CS, albeit some are neutrals. It's still pretty good, though.
It's just the fact he's died and lost a lot of money. So, like, if we jump to this one, you see him at 2,100 in the net worth compared to the 3.5k that comes in from Jabs. And you know Jabs is just hunting for more. Like, he wants to force Storm to burn that mana, if it is possible. And Ice now has a solo lane. S4 is just, he's gone bush.
Gone bush? Is that like on rogue? Is it up to the jungle?
Yeah, pretty much. Go bush.
Go bush. This sounds like some Australian thing.
It is actually.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I blamed talking to Anna before this game.
Gone bush. It sounds like.
Oh, S4's in trouble. Ice does connect with the damage from Timber Chain, but unless the Chakram goes on S4 as well, S4 will survive that.
Oh man.
And he knows it.
Jabs has an arcane rune too. Oh no. That's gonna be devastating. They could set up for a big dive on bottom pretty soon.
Oh, S4, careful! So much damage. And there's 12-1 charges available here for Ice, so you'll jump down. S4's already having to trigger off his healing salve.
Yeah, that's not a fun lane at all.
No.
Pretty much anyone on 1 versus Timber is just not fun. Bloodseeker, one of the few exceptions that can actually do pretty well.
And is dead.
Wow. Yep.
Jabs gets a perfect Searing Chains. He did commit quite heavily because, okay, now he'll just TP out. There's no stun that's going to get there in time, and G-Rex is too late for the glimpse. So, perfect read of the situation from Jabs.
And the value arcane TP scroll. That cooldown's 80 seconds now, Toby. That's
S4 has to split again. Ice is on him, but this time with the split, they were. Wait. Who was TPing in that just cancelled?
I think it was Fly, but Fly just died.
Okay, that could be a reason why. So Visage goes down to black, and while Timbersaw will get controlled up a little bit, Jirax does have the glimpse available. Ice has 20 points up in the reactive armor, and they'll bring in the Bloodseeker, a quick pull back so his Timber Chain won't really work. He has triggered off the one charges with the Cloak. S4's now taking damage. In fact, with the Spirit Jump forward, it's going to be Jabs. They'll find one. They'll root up a second. And OG, well, this is a catastrophe. If you're an OG fan right now, you are wondering why you're bleeding green, but not the good type of bleeding. Faceless are all over OG. They have not only won the early game, have they actually won it hard enough that OG can't find a way back into this?
There's always a way back.
There's always a path.
I think with this draft, it's reasonable. Like the Visage can scale pretty decently. Storm very great at coming back, especially TPing to a tower and TPing to a shrine and counter ganking. And Bloodseeker is actually surprisingly strong, I think, especially with the inherent strength of the matchup versus the anti-mage. But yeah, this early game it's real bad.
It's an Ember Spirit with so much momentum. A Veil of Discord, a double damage room with 10 minutes in, and he's already looking at his boots of travel and 1,500 away from that.
He's definitely the main problem here.
Which shouldn't be the case when Timbersaw has such a great start. Like, ISIS is only a little bit more money away from having his hood available. Turns around to go for the Chakram now. He's going to get silenced up and then glints back over. If he pulls the Chakram back in, No-Tail takes heavy amounts of damage. Another Timber Chain. This one's going to miss, but ISIS with one charges will survive. 2 heroes gone, and Jab is going for the third. He'll find it as well. The double damage rune, Ember Spirit arrives. The tier 1 tower will fall.
Oh man, Nuts was so prepared for that. If you play against Timbersaw enough, you know that if he has a good start, it eventually gets at a point where you need 4 or 5 heroes to kill him. And they threw everyone over there after they all got massacred next to the shrine, and he was just sitting right there, ready for them. I actually think it's a good thing that he missed that chain, because he was still ruptured at that point. Well, S4 does have ulti up in 3 seconds, and No-Tail trying to bait out S4 over here. S4 does have enough stick charges in case he does get fed back, or mana break, feedback, whatever.
Enough to trigger so he can split.
Yeah, he does.
And he also wants to get Arcane Boots if that's possible for him. He's got the money for it, but Black is burning off more. There you go, with the first clamp, Black being pulled back in again. So Black will die.
That was... I think he just assumed that No-Tail was jungling, which is pretty common, but they're not going to jungle their way back into this game. They need to get kills. So, but that's a big kill. 3rd highest net worth, and I just... Ember Spirit, 200 gold away from bots. So 12-minute Veil bots. Yeah, level 12 too. Level 12 is a big deal in Ember Spirit. That changes your burst from like 400 to 700 AoE. None of these heroes can withstand that right now.
Jabs is looking. Invis Rune gets to go into the hands of Ana, as actually be Jirax who will take it.
To the bush.
They switch. It's not the way it's done. It's just go bush, bro.
Go bush.
Go bush.
Well, I can use my own American twist for your Australian saying. Okay. To the bush as we go. Wait, what was yours? To
go bush.
Go bush.
It's so simple. It's so...
Well, that makes it sound like you're cheering for President George W. Bush to be elected or something like that. To the bush is very clear as to what's happening. You're going to the bush. To the bushes!
Not everything revolves around the American presidents. All right.
Well, you clearly have not lived in America.
Oh, obviously.
Everything revolves
very, very
around
thankful
us.
for it. There's the BTs at 13 minutes in. Black is now being hunted on the top lane, so he's trying to find his space up there. But Ice, he loves this stuff. He's got early farm. He knows he's immortal. And you used to see Ice do this when he ran Centaur, where he'd just jump down the bottom lane. He'd force rotations down by adding pressure towards the tower, then back up, farm up inside the jungle, and then come straight back in again. So this is just a rinse and repeat for classic Ice. And Faceless have so much space on the map that the anti-mage will also be uncontested, and Black knows it. He's put the Battle Fury into his quick buy now. And they may even find another kill. Quick root over on Ana, and the burst damage is more than enough to kill off the Storm Spirit.
It's going bad to worse. Brewmaster forced to skip over the Arcane Boots. Arcane Boots isn't really going to do much for them. I definitely agree with the Blink first purchase so they can try and deal with the supports, and so he can get a split off. You can't just walk in there and split. It's going to be a subpar split. AM will just blink out. Ember will just remnant out, so you have to be able to initiate on the support so they can't run away.
Maybe it was more of their answer. Like, would it be the question mark of if OG can just jump and force a fight as 5? Having the arcane boost would have really helped for, like, disrupt the storm. Okay, that's a nice little storm up. This Timbersaur is forced to stay here. Doesn't have a lot of reactive armor charges. Anna will jump forward as well. Jirax, Timber, this could be the kill. They can kill off Ice. They will. Heavy amount of experience from it, even though he's not worth as much gold.
The Rupture Glimpse combo is actually coming into play quite a few times. We've seen this game, like 3 or 4 times already. And it's no insignificant matter. But Anti-Mage, he is still getting big. Ember Spirit kind of immune to the Rupture Glimpse combo because he can just Remnant out. Unless, I guess, Disruptor casts his ulti. But Jabs was very careful about going in a little bit too deep there.
And so Jabs keeps himself protected. Anti-Mage finds more farm. Ice does what he wants to do, which is dive at force a 5-man rotation and ultimates.
Oh, they have a Yules coming out on Bloodseeker too.
Oh, really?
Yep. Yules is pretty nice. It solves a few things. Firstly, it deals with a potential Lincoln Sphere pickup later. Secondly, you can silence the Timbersaw and the Anti-Mage.
That's only if you can get the money. Jabs is walking in and No-Tails down in a pit, so there's no way to survive that. With both Veil of Discord and the Searing Chains, there's just too much damage. And now it's actually up to Nuts to run away from the Familiars. They're both going to drop down, and OG sort of need to protect these. Ice is coming in, and then with the Chakrams, okay, yeah, they kill him off quickly. The resummon was there, so only one of them actually ended up being food, but the stuns of the Storm Spirit, XY doesn't have anything else to throw out just yet as he gets Vortex back. A beautiful Storm, keeping Jabs out of the fight and locking in Ice. So the Ogre as well as the Timber should die. In fact, they will do so, but Ice just lets it go, takes out the extra Familiars. Anna still on the run away. Jabs is just so damn tanky, and he knows he can find more kills. A quick sleight of fist kills off the Disruptor. He wants another one, but he won't really get it. He's locked in. The clap slowed him down too much. He'll buy the Blink Dagger before death. But the Diasai kill off Jabs, and it's 582 gold each for his kill?
Wow.
Okay, did I just break my game?
What happened? What did you do?
I didn't do anything. I hit Teamfight Recap.
Well, there you go. There it is. Forever.
Terrific, guys. Give us a second.
So no fighting is currently going on. Anti-Mage just farming away his Battle Fury. I don't know what's going on there, Toby. You're going to have to...
My computer is either fully crashing or...
Come on, show me your PC skills. To the bush.
This is not the time for that phrase.
I feel like that phrase could be used for a lot more things.
That's inappropriate.
I never said that. What if you want to go hunting? To the bushes we go. That's pretty much what you're doing when you're Iron Talon jungling anyways. You're going hunting for neutrals. No?
It's not that. Give me a sec. I'm getting back in the game. And hopefully everything will work.
Anti-Mage's Battle Fury status.
All right.
Two-thirds completed.
Welcome back, everybody. We're now back inside the game. Don't ask me what the hell happened. I don't know.
How dare you press that Teamfight Recap button. So Faceless trying to cinch the noose on OG and trying to limit the space that they can farm. They try to place a ward outside the T2 in mid lane. However, that was immediately dewarded. Fly already had a sentry ward down. And they will move down to the bottom lane as they try and take more towers. No towers down yet for OG. They have not even really come close to being able to push any towers. But now they have Static Storm up. They have Rupture up. They do have Primal Split up. Who is going to be the target? Black
Well, if they can bait into mid.
Yeah, Black, just get out of there.
Yeah, Faces aren't having anything to do with it. They take a tier 2 tower. They don't care if they lose their tier 1 tower mid, and they still actually had fortification.
They can't TP the Timbersaw in because you'll just get glimpsed back. Oh, actually, no, you cannot play with the chain if you're...
Potentially, you could think about using the Shrine, but you see Fly's positioning.
Look at Ogre.
Already knows.
Look at Ogre.
You mean look at Ogre. Look at the tower that Ogre then makes stronger. That's the secret to this, right?
You just put Ogre out in front so that it doesn't really care. But Timbersaw has TP top, still working on that Bloodstone, quite close, does not want to die before then. But OG do get a good tower kill. Yeah. Very nice one to have.
But they still took damage to the tier 3 tower on bottom. It dropped below 1300. So just a little bit of chip for now, but knowing the way that Ice will like to play in the future, like he can get his Bloodstone now. He'll convert off the energy booster, which is inside of his arcane boots, and then just switch into BTs. So he'll push bottom lane and then BT back into the fights when he needs to.
They do have Observer wards up. That's one of the bad parts of letting that mid tower go down. They were able to smoke, get 2 wards up into the jungle, and now OG finally have some breathing room to that. Ana can hopefully get a Bloodstone of his own. And the Yules is complete on the Bloodseeker, and he's going for the Scepter build too. 2 Ruptures. It's better than 1. It's definitely good versus Anti-Mage and definitely good versus Timbersaw. I would say those 2 should pretty much always be your 2 targets.
Smoke maneuver from OG. So in order to get to that Aghanim Scepter, they're going to need a good amount of kills, and Ice is going to be the primary target. Now he's no longer pushing the lane. And they're ready an Observer Ward. Okay, they scat out Black. Yep, he takes so much damage so quickly. And Notal will get the kill. They actually glimpsed him into his own death. Ice is managing to escape. They obviously would have preferred the Timbersaw, especially as he had that fresh Bloodstone.
Black's just not being careful. He's not respecting the Rupture. I'm sure he's played Anti-Mage enough to know that Rupture completely destroys his hero. Probably needs to play around Aegis. I wonder if he's going to actually complete the Vlads first. Mantis style doesn't do anything versus Rupture, so it's not really an option that you want to go for.
Jumping forward, already start off with the Yule Scepter over on the Timbersaw, drag him back in, like hold him in place with the Storm.
Oh, didn't even
and
get the
OG
Bloodstone
show that they've got that ability to get the quick picks and move on to another target.
Yeah, Yules is really great. It also stops the TP away from Rupture, which is one of the most common ways to deal with Rupture. So how do they actually deal with the Rupture? Rupture is becoming a big deal now. And they've gotten a fair amount of kills. Gold lead is down to, what, 7,000, I would say?
It's about 8k now, it's about 7k-ish.
And they have 2 Midases up now. One on the Broodmaster, one on the Bloodseeker. So OG are well into, like, they're pretty close to getting back in the game. Visage also has a Medallion of Courage, so they can do Roche. If they manage to get a pick on an important hero, I would say it would probably take Timbersaw and one more in order for them to actually do Roche. And then you get Aegis on Storm Spirit, and you're back in the game. But that is a long sequence of events.
Do they still lock down the Ember Spirit in the late game, though? Like, Rupture is fantastic, but do you control the Ember enough?
Once Storm gets an Orchid, yeah.
Okay. So the Storm Spirit is still the one we have to look for the Ember Spirit, but the Anti-Mage and the Timber get controlled by the Bloodseeker. They find their target in mid. Ana just standing behind the tower. Quick Yule Step, the Rup's going to keep Timbersaw out of the fight, so it forces Jabs to commit a little bit heavier with his spirits. Ruptured up, starts his TP, but then the Glimpse pulls him back in. Notal, another freebie given over to him through the grace of the Disruptor, and Brewmaster split, holding Ice under the tier 2 tower. They turn their attention, OG, towards that Timbersaw, and Nuts, well, he needs to create a little bit more space with the Storm down. Timbersaw, Ana just goes straight over the top of him, turns his attention then towards XY, making sure that Ogre can drop, but can they really do it? They want Black instead. Notal will find him onto a killing spree with the Ogre being dragged back in. It's OG getting kill after kill. And this time it's Faceless with no real response.
Now you see why the Disruptor was picked. The Glimpse back for multiple kills and to stop the TP out after the Bloodseeker Rupture.
It's just crazy to think you can have such a bad laning phase and then still just know that sweet timing you're going to hit.
I think a lot of it is just because Black's given up way too many deaths. He had... How early did he get his Battle Fury and how free was his early game? And... yeah, he's like up against a Bloodseeker, but that's when you just wait until you get a few items. You get like Battle Fury, I think, and then you can get Vlad's, and then you do Roche, and then you get like you have a lot of time until your Mantis time. Then whatever, you die, you have Aegis, no problem. But they have not proceeded along that path at all. Anti-Mage died 4 times, multiple times with Rupture. Some really good smoke ganks by OG, but they're letting them get away with the Midas. Now Ana has, what, 12 Bloodstone charges and Aegis in his inventory, and now things are looking really bad for Faceless.
Did they just also allow Fly to get the last of that to push him his Aghanim's timing? Like, he's already got the Solar Crest, as you said. Yeah,
I have heard from a lot of Faceless players that Ags is actually not the best item on him anymore.
Really?
Yeah, I think people... You want to actually buff up the existing familiars a little bit more. I see like AC sometimes, I see Atos sometimes, but I don't know. Ags just hasn't It's never, I think, 100% item that you get on Visage.
I'd love to see like if it's gonna be something different, but right now in his quick buy, he hasn't got anything.
He's versus a Timber too, so the Timber can still eat his things. They do need some way to deal with the Rupture. Oh my goodness.
That's a lot of TPs coming back, and Ember Spirit silenced up for the moment. If they can keep that control going, you buff up Jab's damage, but it won't matter if you can't jump away.
It's a 6-second blood rate. 6 seconds, and he was not able to. I don't know if he could have slight dodged it. Probably not, but it's kind of his only way that he could have dodged it while his remnant was traveling away.
It looked like he was trying to bail it anyway. Like he started his TP, and the Yules had to cancel the TP out.
Yep.
So he really wasn't ready to fight that. And now, 25 minutes in, Notel has the completed Aghanim Scepter. This is a huge danger zone now for Faceless.
Yeah, how do you deal with it? They need to just be able to stand there and fight.
Is there any way to dispel it? Like, is there any way to get rid of it? So,
BKB, Mantle,
even
Lotus, no.
Doesn't work.
Nope. Not at all.
So, what, Lincoln Sphere?
You generally have to either stand there and be able to, like, hit people during it. Like, imagine, you know, Sven with, like, Warcry just stands there with, like, with some sort of lifesteal. Like, he's...
Okay.
You just can't really move during it. Or a really tanky hero with Blade Mail, let's say like Centaur with Stampede and Blade Mail, he could actually just Stampede and just run around with it and probably kill the Bloodseeker. There's some ways that you can deal with it, but in this particular game, there's no good way for the Anti-Mage to deal with it, except for Aegis of the Immortal, I would say. But now that he has Ags, it's like, you're just dead.
Yep.
And Orchid's already up too. Okay, so yeah, Ember Spirit's also going to get control. So they have tools for Timber, Ember, and Anti-Mage. So 3 cores already handled, 2 with Scepter, Rupture, and 1 with Orchid.
So for Faceless, this has to turn into a dodge game for them.
Yeah.
Like, because right now it looks like OG is going to win the engagements if they go 5-on-5.
It's definitely a dodge game, I would say, for Anti-Mage, but Anti-Mage has not been doing a good job of surviving. One way that to also deal with Rupture is like Yules. So you self-Yules to buy yourself time. You can dodge the Blood right too. It's pretty effective, but it's not really the timing that you're looking for. It looks like Timbersaw will be going for a BKB to deal with it, but it's pure damage, so you can't even get BKB to deal with that. Yep. Crystal Maiden looks like she might be taking the gank. She has a Midas. Use that Midas before you die.
They're coming up right behind him. The Observer Ward's going to see Black retreating out, so they know about him. Then Ogre, as well as Nuts, all the glimpses there, so they understand the 2 supports. Jump forward. It's going to be the Crystal Maiden that gets control. Anna still has the Orchid available and uses it over on the Ogre Magi. So both supports are gone. And Faceless, the choice is there. Do they want to keep fighting? The glimpse, you know, ISISI will be dragged back in just a second, so he triggers off his pipe any kind of hold that he can do so, and in fact, he'll just have to deny himself. There's no other choice. Faceless will lose 3, even though only 2 of them will give golden experience.
Man, No-Tail's been playing incredibly well. He's the hero that dealt with Black, that kind of salvaged the early game, that counter-ganked a few people, and I also think his item build is like really good. Bloodseeker has a lot of item builds. You see like SY, you'll see Dagon sometimes, you'll see Blade Mail a ton. He's going for Silver Edge, I believe, next, but the Yules, Scepter, I think, has been really effective this game too. I like it a lot.
They got more lockdown coming. Fly's working on his Rod of Atos.
Yeah.
So that's his item build.
I do like the Atos a lot. It deals with Anti-Mage and Ember Spirit quite well. Not that much synergy with Rupture, but you know, you always want multiple ways to deal with each of these heroes.
Alright, so Faceless. Now it's them. They had such a fantastic start, such a fantastic laning phase. And OG were patient, they found their picks, and now they're looking better and actually starting to prepare themselves to push high ground. Now you guess the Immortal will be gone. We've got a decent spawn time for Roshan.
Their high ground is terrible, I would say. So they can't do it yet. They, at least, at bare minimum, need the next Roche. Looks like Anti-Mage will be going for a Scepter, so he's tired of Rupture. But
I think Fly wants a kill. ISIS is a long way away from home, so the Familiars will chase him down. And mainly the Familiars will be used for those perfect stuns if they can grab it. No, ISIS gets the chain up, but no tell. Just too good. Bloodseeker will do its work. The Storm Spirit does die over in the, well, interestingly enough, just a little bit further north, near the Dire Secret shop. Quick jump away is able to get Black out to safety.
Man, Timbersaw gets owned by Bloodseeker too. Blood Rage plus Rupture. What can you do?
So it's like when you ask the question, like, could they have actually kept Bloodseeker down any more in the early phase? Like instead of just having the anti-mage against him. Like
the thing about Bloodseeker is he doesn't actually need that many items. Like all his plays that he made in the first 15 minutes of the game did not require any items, like boots plus whatever.
Well, because it's just like I rupture and the disruptive glimpses, and and you're done.
Yeah, pretty much. That's why he went for Midas. You don't actually need any. He's not right-clicking people really. He doesn't need the treads, or he still has brown boots actually.
Yep. He's building into a Lincoln Sphere as his next.
Lincoln Sphere is interesting. So he might be expecting the Scepter from the Anti-Mage. You use the Anti-Mage to pop the Lincolns, and then or to pop the Spell Shield, which pops your Lincolns, and then you can Rupture. Is that the play? I guess that's the play. Could be the play.
It sounds right.
Sounds right. You could also get a Force Staff too. Force Staff is pretty good too. But Lincolns also should help out the Storm Spirit, so he doesn't get mana voided.
Oh, XY's dead. Quick jump out from Anna.
Another Bloodstone charge, and
he's going to rack him back up again. He's sitting at 11 at the moment.
Black's so scared.
Rightly so, but at least he's giving that respect. Like he's now needing another 1,050 gold before he's got the Aghanim Scepter up, and then maybe he'll feel a lot more comfortable just jumping out there.
You better respect someone after they slap you in the face 4 times.
I know. Do you respect Marshall?
Who's Marshall? Oh.
Ah.
I haven't watched that show in a long time.
Quick movie or a quick TV show reference.
Does he respect Marshall? I guess he does now. Kind of. Yeah.
Barney would, yeah.
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 He is getting slapped around by No-Tail, though. For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, man, there ain't no bet in this one. This is just for fun.
I wonder what Anti-Mage's worst matchup is on statistically. I think Meepo and Bloodseeker have to be like just top 10 worst matchups versus for Anti-Mage.
Unfortunately, I'm not a stats book.
Unfortunately, my computer does not have
well,
memory.
The jump forward, the Orchid's over on Timbersaw, has to use the BKB to break free of it. So that's his 10-second BKB charge being used for this. He'll turn around, but he knows he's ruptured. So there's no other choice. Ice has to stand here. Support was coming in, but it was also delayed. No-Tail used his Eul Scepter to survive, then went into the invis, wants to keep running away. Nuts is right behind him, so they find the kill as Black Hole end the spree. But can they get more? No, well, maybe they can. XY's on a healthy man. Black's doing some work with the familiar drops, creating more space, and the chaos of the Brewmaster ultimate with the roots down. The Rod of Atos. Black just cannot keep moving forward, but he still has jabs right next to him. They'll get rid of these familiars. They're getting rid of the Brewlings as well. Storm Spirit, the Storm Brewling is gone. S4's away. Black is hot on his tail. Can't get the Searing Chains off with a Sleight of Fist. And Black needs to slow him down in any way, shape, or form. A blink in front of him. Can't block the tree line in time. Again, Jab's going to miss that combination, allowing S4 to run a little bit further away. And Jabs very wisely TPs out in the Fog of War, so Jurix cannot get a glimpse of back.
Wow, I'm pretty sure they could have killed Brewmaster very easily had he actually hit one of those chains, but they still get some boost.
Anna's gone in, and with the Orchid, Black's gone. Actually, no, he mantas away. He'll be able to survive. The Courier delivered in the Aghanim Scepter, but because he actually held it inside the stash, it didn't activate in time.
That was close.
He'll have the Aghanim Scepter next time. S4 with no split. Nuts, as well as Ice will team up together, and the damage will be enough to kill off S4. A big streak to end, and they're looking for more as well. The glimpse, got to take Ice away, but okay, maybe it's not.
Nope, he glimpsed the Anti-Mage.
Okay, that doesn't really work then. Not when the Aghanim Scepter's on him, unless it has been learned. I'm like, there's no Rubik in this game. I didn't see a Lotus Orb up and running. And goodbye, Hannah.
The chain feed.
Oh. It hurts. They're going to use buybacks. Faceless will be forcing high ground now.
Wow, that BKB on Ice just completely changed the game. They were like, oh yeah, Rupture, easy kill, right? Oh wait, he can just stand there.
Yep.
And he has reactive armor. We have no right-click damage. What do we do?
Well, you try and defend it. Look at Black with the Lincoln Sphere protection. So Black is actually doubly protected by jabs. Timbersaw's in a little water hurt. Ice will have to deny himself. He's got a 2-charge blood. He had 2 charges before he went in, so nothing of that value was lost. But Ogre set up and towards the air by S4. Black is still thinking about turning around into this fight. But when you get the blood right down, the silence will be over on XY. Nuts will turn around to go back into it too. The Storm is down. Fly, well, he wants to stand his ground. XY will take a fall. Anti-Mage doesn't have enough damage to kill off Jirax. The one charges just in time, so the Mana Void doesn't do enough work. Jab starts his TP. The silence is there, as well as the interruption of the TP. So you'll end up losing the Ember Spirit, and OG will successfully defend their bot lane.
Great kiting by OG. The double, he still blinked during the Rupture, lost half his HP, and his team kind of just had to sit around him while they waited for the Rupture to wear out. That was a little bit awkward, but double Rupture, what a way to start with the fight from Bloodseeker. One on Timber, one on the Anti-Mage. Timber Salt just flat out just got melted, and then the Anti-Mage couldn't really do anything either. So that they do need to be able to block these Ruptures. So Rupture is a very big problem for them.
Okay, is this worth the YOLO? Okay, no, Roshan's down, and Ice, so he wants it. The Chakram will fly in. It is still OG who gets the kill on Roshan and the Aegis the Immortal. Their one observer would have scattered any kind of reinforcements coming in from Faceless through the Shrine area. So they get away with it.
I wonder if Anti-Mage should go for BKB.
On top of what he's already got?
Yeah, because he still gets Ruptured.
It looks like he's going for the control instead.
Yeah,
Basher into Abyssal.
He still has issues, though, because of Drunken Haze. Blood Right, I think, is a big deal. Like, there's a lot of things that he wants to Manta out of. Orchid, Blood Right are two of the main ones. And then what if he gets caught in a Disruptor or Static Storm? He's just going to die. I think he's going to need BKB for the Ags Disruptor, which is coming out quite soon.
He's just changed his mind. He's headed towards a Lincoln's.
Wow, Lincolns and Ags, he's not going to do any damage. They have Bloodlust, I suppose.
Maybe they're just looking him to be the bait. Let Ice as well as Jabs do the work. If you're spending that much resources to kill off the Anti-Mage, that should give a lot more freedom to the Ember Spirit, who is going to go into that BKB build now.
I think all three of their cores need BKB. Disruptor, yeah, but he's getting Ags. It owns Brew. Brew can't do anything versus BKB. Bloodseeker, he's not that strong right-click wise, so he's also not that great versus BKB. Storm Spirit not great versus BKB. Visage is mediocre, I would say, but not fantastic. BKB is a good 5-6 seconds of invulnerability. Not invulnerability, but not dying. So Lincoln's complete on the Anti-Mage. That is a lot of stuff to deal with.
Oh, Ice. I don't think he really wanted to be in there. And Ice will drop.
That's rough. Black. One Lincoln's popped. Two. No, just one.
No, that glimpse back XY. He's the guaranteed kill out of all of that, but you do commit the Storm from Disruptor to ensure it. I don't know if that was really necessary. So now Black goes to the bottom lane to try and fight, but you've got S4 as well as Anna down here. Anna's still with the Orchid. Black blinks forward to be aggressive. They're going to go even deeper onto Anna, but then going to get hit by the Drunken Haze. He doesn't really care too much. He's buffed up with the Bloodlust. He just wants to attack it. He'll try his luck.
Yeah, Basher's going to be pretty important for him. But MKB is another item he needs. Of course, you need Butterfly for more damage. Heart is also pretty good because straight HP versus the pure damage from Rupture is also pretty good. I don't know. It's tough anti-mage game at this point when you're behind and don't have Aegises. OG are like, just way better about controlling Aegises this game.
Okay, now they're BTing onto the Familiars. Bringing the support of Notal that way. Anywhere you want to go. Reminds me of the old Beastmaster, kind of like, let me just bring in my initiation on the back of wings.
Yeah, it's going to be real hard. Now Brewmaster has transitioned to a better team fight build too. The Vlads and the AC. So now the birds can do a lot of damage with this. And the minus armor from Solar Crest too. So like now they have a good mix of damage. They have a fair amount of right click with the AC and the Vlads and the birds and the solar. They have a good pure damage from the Bloodseeker, who's been owning them with the Axe, and then magic from pretty much everyone on their team, I would say. Maybe aside from Bloodseeker, I suppose.
And we're just racking up on the Lincolns. Even though technically we're going to count Black as holding on to 2. Jabs has 1. No-Tail finished up his. And it is exactly what we thought it was going to be. It's protect the Storm Spirit when he goes for the long jumps, which they do. They find the Crystal Maiden out.
Yeah, because of if you buff up the Storm Spirit with Lincolns, you can also just put Blood Rage on him because he's not going to be under that much threat. And that's pretty scary. Zip could just straight kill a support.
Ice, ice, ice. BKB and TP. No more stuns. And Ice, ice, ice will have to sit back at the well.
Rupture hurt 60% move damage. That's a lot.
It's still crazy you can't dispel it.
Nope.
Like there isn't an answer apart from surviving. Like that's it. You gotta survive through 2 ruptures on 1 target. Lincoln Sphere can block the channel of it, which is like what I think they were trying to do. S4, nice jump in. Anna in there as well. XY just evaporates to the attack that is OG. The rest of Faceless hide inside the base, and goodbye to the Aegis the Immortal. It will time out now, so no extra life there for Anna, but he gets the easy regeneration. And OG are looking to the tier 2 tower on bottom lane. A fight which Faceless are really not in any kind of position to take. They can only slow it down with the Chakrams. Okay, maybe they can. OG aren't looking to fight it. So they burn the fortification. A last minute TP out.
You just have to be scared because the Shrine's right there.
Just in case you get flanked. I suppose if you do lose a fight at this point of the game, you're probably considering like losing that bottom tier 3/Rax.
You don't want to take chances. Storm Spirit still hasn't accrued like a lot of Bloodstone charges too. He only has 9.
Goodbye, Jirax. Throws the ulti out, goes in for the Glimmer, but Jabs is moving in through the side as well. Lincoln Sphere will break pretty quickly, trying to glimpse him back out again, but Jirax nowhere to really survive. Potentially could have been denied up to the Centaurs, but Black actually cleaves him when attacking the Centaur to find the kill.
Baited out BKB.
Is that the way we're going to look at this now?
Wait, how do you...
It was a 10-second BKB.
How do you cleave him?
Hmm?
Oh, Black cleave.
Yeah, but no. Black cleaved him because he hit the Centaur.
Well, Roshan not up yet. They need Rosh. Radiant using skin, but doesn't matter. Rosh is not up yet.
Yeah, they have to wait a little bit longer for him. Black is still rolling at the money, but we're going to reach a point soon where maybe...
Disruptor's already up. Okay, minus 30-second respawn time.
That's what he went.
Respawn time's good. For minus 40-second respawn for Fly. He's level 22? Wow. I guess we are 42 minutes in. I don't know, it just seems a little bit high.
Oh, there we go.
I guess he's been involved in a lot of the kills, most of the kills.
Anna jumping forward. As Ice reveals himself, gets hit by a lot of the familiars, but support is there. Storm Spirit getting stunned up. Spirits jump forward as well, but the silencer hits perfectly, so Jabs can't finish the job. Anna gets a little bit more space to get back out again, but it's the Storm that actually holds Anti-Mage in position. Timbersaw will explode as well. Didn't end up denying himself, but Jabs, he's here to do the damage. He wants that Storm Spirit, and he's able to claim him. The question is, can he get out with his life? And with the jump, the Sleight of Fist, he won't be able to. Gem of True Sight is lost, not to mention every single member of the Faceless lineup. They are all down, and no buybacks available for any of them. This is mid-Rax.
Oh, that BKB by Ana.
Didn't expect it. They're like, oh man, Storm's just out here. He's rooted. Let's kill him. Oh god, he's big and yellow. And that was an Ags Disruptor ulti too. And these cores are just rendered completely useless by Rupture. I don't ever think I've seen Rupture be so useful.
The perfect 5th pick. Really.
He went for Aether Lens too. So he went
The buff, the range.
But it's great for Rupture, and even the Yule's Blood Right combo. It's very important to be able to catch these heroes out in that sort of combo. So not only is that 1 Rax, that is going to be 2 Rax. They do have... Oh, who else did they Blood Rage? Is it just himself? Oh, he Blood Rage Brewmaster too.
Oh boy.
Blood Rage is really good when you're not worried about taking damage.
Well, they're sticking around just to get the extra money from the Shrines. Ready to beat them down a little bit. But they know what else is on the list. Take out the external Shrines. Don't allow Faceless to come in behind you. Anna's already working on the bottom one. So that kind of situation we saw earlier when OG will push in the bottom tier 2 tower. Won't happen again.
Man, you see Anti-Mage's net worth and how useless he is?
Yep.
Yeah. It's rough.
Like you're looking for the damage in the last fight. It just never really seemed to come.
He did go double defensive with the Ags and Lincoln Sphere. That's what I'm talking about. When you go those 2 items, you can't kill people quickly.
But you can understand it. Like it feels like the overcompensation to deal with
The Lincoln's
Bloodseeker.
is overkill, I think. Ags is already a Lincoln's. It's a better Lincoln's for Anti-Mage. Especially if they don't have Silver Edge, I don't think it's necessary to get both. I think he could have just gone for like Butterfly or BKB. Or even like
Nuts. He's going to find Anna very quickly silenced, but Nuts does actually have the Glimmer Cave to protect him. Not to mention a Lotus Orb, which is up on the field. That's the one given over by Ice Ice Ice. They're just trying to reflect as much as they can.
or dispel stuff like Orchid, I would say. But
The Bloodthorn's almost done.
Does Bloodseeker really care if he gets ruptured? I guess a little bit. Not that much, though.
Just means he doesn't chase in the fights. Or not straight away. And with this level of regeneration he can achieve, yeah, he may not really care. Because he's already getting the Vladimir's aura. We assume he's not going to go for the plus 30% lifesteal.
Oh, minus 7 second blood right?
Yep.
Oh yeah, I think that's the play.
Well, Faceless, their time to fight. They only get the Searing Chains on a Familiar, and Brewmaster still gets the perfect split off Jirax. He's dying so quickly. They find the kill, and Anna jumps inside the protection of the Storm, and that's where Ember Spirit will be going down. The brother kills a brother, and maybe Black can find a bigger one. Looking for the kill onto Anna. He already used that Abyssal Blade. The lockdown, the control, they pull him back in, and Black will fall as well. Ice 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 can't survive. Nuts will fall. There they go. The entire team is down once again.
Yeah,
and the only thing Faceless get is one kill, and that's on a Disruptor. But this looks to be the bottom lane of Rax now.
Throw up those double Gs, man.
Not fully yet. You still have the Anti-Mage and Crystal Maiden with the buyback, so they have some kind of bite in their defense. But it ain't good.
There.
Rupture's already back off cooldown for Notel. Flies assaulting tier 4 towers, and there it is. The GG is called. Took just over 46 minutes. OG with possibly the worst laning phase that we're probably going to see here at DAC. But
They got baited out with
Yeah.
the Anti-Mage pick. So Storm Spirit, they know Black like the Anti-Mage, and like Bloodseeker. Bloodseeker is really good. Plus Seeker plus Disruptor combo was very, very good. Timbersaw was off to an amazing start, but just got manhandled. Rupture. That was the story of the game.
I'm wondering if this even counts all the damage that Rupture did. 24,000 does not seem anywhere near enough. When everyone sits
He did a
at
lot.
that mark.
A lot of other people have like AoE damage. So I guess Blood Right's AoE too. His damage is also pure. I don't know. Who needs a damage thing to tell me that Bloodseeker owned this game?
Yeah, it was a perfect pick, a perfect control. And game one going the way of OG, so we'll be back after a short break where Faceless, we'll see if they can take a game off and maybe draw up the series, or will OG go 2-0 and claim 6 points out of 2 series in day 1 of DAC group stage. We'll find out. We'll see you back here soon.